In the Himalayas, the Yeti senses the storm of the century approaching.
The Yeti starts building his lifeline, a snow cave. Every minute counts as the temperature plunges toward -10. With claws like shovels, the Yeti digs an entrance just wide enough for his massive frame, knowing the blizzard is about to hit full force. The Yeti sculpts his shelter with care. Smooth walls mean less collapse risk and better heat retention in -10 degrees. Just as the storm slams the mountain, the Yeti finishes the entrance and must now find food before he's sealed inside.
Hunger already burns in the Yeti's bell. He must reach the river and break the ice before the storm makes it impossible. At -11 degrees, the Yeti punches through the ice, risking frostbite for the chance to catch a single fish. Patience is survival. The Yeti becomes a statue, arm numb, waiting for a fish to swim within reach. A small fish is all the Yeti gets today. Barely enough calories to keep him alive through the night.
The Yeti brings the only extra insulation he could find, brittle branches to block wind and add structure.
Morning comes, but the storm hasn't left. The Yeti must dig himself out to hunt again.
The world is white and blinding. The Yeti relies on memory and smell to find the river once more.
Every day, the ice grows thicker. The Yeti's hands ache, but hunger forces him to keep breaking through. Another tiny catch. The Yeti knows this meager meal is the difference between life and death today. The Yeti learns to ration. Half now, half later. Survival means thinking ahead. A primitive fridge in the snow wall. The Yeti's way of preserving his only food source. Hunger is constant. The Yeti rests to conserve energy, dreaming of the day the storm ends. When fish are scarce, the Yeti eats bark and twigs, anything to quiet the hunger pains. Each night, the Yeti improves his shelter, fighting to stay one step ahead of the cold. Sleep is the Yeti's only escape from hunger and cold. But even sleep is restless. Day 3. The Yeti's body is weakening, but his will remains strong. The river fights back. The Yeti must use brute strength to reach the water again. A better catch today. The Yeti feels a flicker of hope as he drags the fish back. For the first time in days, the Yeti feels a little strength returning. The Yeti counts the days. 3 tallies, 3 nights survived in this frozen tomb. Small comforts matter. The Yeti reshapes his icy bed to rest better. The storm may be weakening. The Yeti dares to hope. Day 4 brings a small gift, less wind. The Yeti can move more easily. The Yeti explores, hoping to find easier fishing grounds.
Two fish. The Yetier's persistence is rewarded with a double catch.
A rare surplus.
The Yeti studies the weather. He senses the storm's end may be near. The Yeti prepares for freedom, widening his doorway to the world. 4 days survived. The Yeti's body is weak, but his spirit grows stronger. The cave feels less like a prison tonight. The Yeti rests easier.
Day 5. Sunlight. The Yeti feels its warmth on his face for the first time in days.
The thaw begins. Fishing becomes easier peasy, a sign that the worst may be over. The Yeti walks with purpose. A full belly and weaker winds lift his mood. The Yeti's pantry grows. He starts planning beyond mere survival.
From the ridge, the Yeti sees the storm's edge. Freedom is close. The Yeti honors his shelter. It kept him alive when nothing else could. The Yeti dreams of open valleys and running streams, not snow caves. Day 6. The blizzard is dying. The Yeti prepares to leave his icy refuge. The cave that saved him now becomes a memory. The Yeti is ready to move on. A final feast from the river that sustained him. The Yeti honors the water. The storm has passed. The Yeti survived 6 brutal days at -10 and below. The Yeti walks away from death's door. He has conquered the mountain's frozen fury.
After 6 days trapped in the blizzard, the Yeti finally leaves the high peaks behind, heading toward warmer valleys below. The snow is no longer the enemy. At -5 degrees, it begins to yield under the Yeti's weight, signaling the thaw.
For the first time in days, the Yeti grooms himself, shedding the storm's frozen armor.
New smells reach the Yeti, life returning after the deep freeze. Hope stirs in his chest.
Even ice feels like a treat. The Yeti hydrates in every way he can on his journey downward.
Trees appear again. The Yeti enters the tree line, a sign he's leaving the barren high altitude. The forest offers gifts. The Yeti supplements his diet with pine bark, rich in nutrients he desperately needs. From this vantage, the Yeti sees his destination, a world no longer ruled by endless white.
The path grows treacherous with melting snow. The Yeti moves cautiously to avoid injury, now that survival is near.
The Yeti's coat begins to thaw. Droplets sparkle like jewels on the survivor. Signs of spring emerge. The Yeti steps onto bare ground for the first time in weeks. Fresh greens after days of fish and bark, the Yeti savors the earthy taste of renewal.
Warm sunlight bathes the Yeti. He rests without fear of freezing, letting the heat soak into his bones.
Pure relief washes over the Yeti. For a moment, he simply exists in the warmth. At 0 degrees, the world transforms. The Yeti follows paths made by returning wildlife.
The promise of larger prey excites the Yeti. His strength is returning with better food and warmth.
Meltwater roars down the mountain. The Yeti must cross to reach the lower forest.
The cold water bites, but the Yeti pushes through. Nothing will stop him now. A triumphant shake. The Yeti stands on the edge of true recovery.
Sweet berries burst in the Yeti's mouth, calories and flavor he hasn't tasted in months.
No longer forced to dig snow caves, the Yeti builds a nest of fragrant pine boughs.
Night falls gently. The Yeti sleeps under the stars, no longer trapped by storm or cold.
Birds have returned. Their songs greet the Yeti on his first truly warm morning. Fishing was survival. Now the Yeti chooses easier, sweeter food. Strong flavors awaken the Yeti's senses. Onions add variety to his growing diet. The Yeti washes away the storm completely, emerging cleaner and renewed.
Self-care returns. The Yeti restores his majestic appearance after the ordeal.
From the treetop, the Yeti sees home. Endless forest free of snow.
The Yeti observes life returning to normal. He is no longer starving.
Flowers and warmth surround the Yeti. The world feels reborn, and so does he.
Even insects return. The Yeti and nature reconnect in gentle moments. Abundance replaces scarcity. The Yeti's body begins to heal and strengthen.
The Yeti remembers fire. Soon he may feel its warmth again.
Peaceful sleep without shivering. The Yeti's body rests fully for the first time.
Strength has returned. The Yeti feels powerful again.
No longer rationing, the Yeti eats until satisfied.
The high mountains fade behind. The Yeti enters his true home.
The Yeti honors the mountain that tested him. He survived its worst. The storm is now memory. The Yeti moves forward into warmth and plenty.
The Yeti claims his place again. This forest is his.
Cool water feels luxurious now. The Yeti plays like a young one.
Pure contentment. The Yeti basks like never before.
Preparation out of wisdom, not desperation. The Yeti plans comfortably.
Home at last. The Yeti dreams of endless summers ahead.
A roar of triumph. The Yeti announces his return to the wild.
The blizzard tested him, nearly broke him, but the Yeti endured.
From frozen hell to green paradise, or this is the Yeti's unbreakable survival story. Fully restored, the Yeti has reclaimed his domain. The nightmare of the blizzard is now just a distant echo.
Simple joys return. The Yeti indulges in the luxury of a good scratch after weeks of frozen stiffness.
Sweet, juicy apples, a feast compared to raw fish and bark. The Yeti eats until juice runs down his chin.
No more rationing. The Yeti allows himself the rare pleasure of eating to complete satisfaction.
The forest teems with life again. The Yeti's senses sharpen as he re-enters the food chain as apex predator. Golden honey, nature's richest reward. The Yeti savors the sticky sweetness despite a few angry stings. He honors the mountain that forged him stronger. No longer a roar of defiance, but one of peace and strength. Adventure calls again. The Yeti embraces life fully. Playfulness returns. The Yeti celebrates being alive.
Beauty everywhere. The Yeti is part of this vibrant world once more. A treetop bed now. The Yeti chooses comfort and safety.
Cradled by the forest itself. The Yeti dreams of endless seasons.
A new day in a new life. The survivor awakens.
The journey continues. There are always new horizons for the Yeti. He carries the memory of the storm, but it no longer defines him. A final glance room. Gratitude for survival. Readiness for whatever comes next.
One creature against nature's worst. Olvia. and nature blinked first.
The mountain keeps its secrets, but one legend walks free.
Proof that he was here, that he endured, that he conquered.
From -10 degrees to thriving in summer, this is the Yeti's triumph.
Every extreme winter creates legends. This Yeti became one.